Hi everyone, I'm just going to talk you through the determinants of what changes exchange rate, demand and supply curves. I'm going to go through these ones in different areas, and then I'm going to focus on the ones that the syllabus does. Please, if you need more help, take a look at this textbook as it summarizes in this order very well. So the demand for goods and services. If you are going to buy goods or services from a country, you need their money in order to buy their goods and services. This will affect your domestic goods and services and your currency in both directions. If you wish to buy foreign goods and services, you have to supply your money. And if you wish to buy other goods and services, you sell your money and then you get their money. Imagine it as a table, and you have to go in, and in order to get the goods over there, you have to put something down in order to get something to go on to the next step. So the foreign demand for exports will lead to an increase in the demand for your currency. The domestic demand for imports for other countries' goods will cause the supply of your currency to increase. Relatively high or low inflation rates. Inflation is basically when you have prices rising in your economy. If you have high prices in your economy, that means your goods will be less desirable than other countries' goods in comparison. It's usually relative inflation rates. As right now, as you know, everyone in the world is experiencing inflation. So if your country is experiencing high inflation, it's likely that the demand for your goods and services will fall, and therefore the demand for the currency will also fall. If you have low inflation, it means your goods are relatively cheaper compared to the rest of the world, and therefore you will find that the demand for your goods rises, and therefore the demand for your currency also rises. Interest rates are a complicated topic. In this case, it's not the price of borrowing that we care about. In this case, we care about people who are putting their money into banks to save or invest. And so an interest rate means that you're going to put money in the bank and get money in return. So if you are an investor, you want high interest rates because it means you'll get paid more money. As an investor, this is not the price of borrowing money necessarily. This is the price of investing money, or the return for investing money. And so if you have a high interest rate, you're going to experience the demand for your currency goes up because people need your currency in order to buy to put their money in your banks. If you have a low interest rate compared to the rest of the world, then you're going to experience that people don't want your currency, so the demand is going to fall for your currency. In the same sense, the people inside your country are going to change their behavior as well. So if you have a high interest rate in your country, you're going to see less supply of your currency because people are going to keep their money domestically instead of looking for better places elsewhere in the world. But if you have a low interest rate, you're going to find your domestic investors, people with money, are going to supply your currency and therefore buy others' currencies. So the relative interest rates are going to affect the behavior of investors. The rising and falling incomes. If people have more money, then they buy more goods. If they buy more goods, then the demand for the currency will go up. If you have more money internally, this will also cause people to buy more imports, which will mean the supply of your currency goes up. Speculators are those that buy and sell currencies, and they're concerned about when the currency is going up and when the currency is going down. They buy when the currency is low, and they sell when the currency is high. Speculators can affect both the demand and the supply curves. Government intervention. Foreign reserve buying and selling. This is when the government is using their foreign reserves to either buy and sell their currency. If they are buying their currency, then they are putting other reserves onto the table. If they are selling their currency, they're increasing the supply of it. So these are the factors that will affect flexible exchange rates. If you want to look at the demand shifts, put it into the context of one particular country. In this case, we're in Europe, so it's probably easiest for us to look at the euro. And the demand for our euro will come from outside. People who are in Europe already have euro, so they don't need to demand the currency. So therefore, almost all demand comes from outside the European Union, or outside the Eurozone, certainly. So foreigners will need euro to buy European goods and services, travel to the EU, because they need to spend money when they're here, to invest in EU firms, they're going to be interested therefore in the interest rate, to save their money in banks, and to make money speculating. The demand from outside will cause these shifts. The supply curve comes from inside the country. People in Europe are going to supply their money or put their money on the table and shift the supply. This diagram here is a dollar diagram, so it's not the same. The diagram for us would be price of euro in dollars. Buying US dollars for us or any other currency requires us to first put up some money in order to get some money. It has to be an exchange. You can't just get something for free. So in order to get foreign currency, in this case US dollars, Europeans, yourself, your friends, your family, have to supply your euros in order to get foreign currency. And they need this to buy goods and services, to travel there, and also to invest. So if Europeans are investing in America, then they will supply more of the euro, and this will shift the supply curve to the right. This is almost the opposite of the demand shifts. This is another way of looking at it. This is looking at the US dollar. If you have these things happening, and the arrows up and down mention something goes up or something goes down, then this will increase the supply or decrease the supply, or increase the demand or decrease the demand for the currency. Another way of looking at it domestically is things that will cause a depreciation where the value of the currency goes down will be these. X in this case means exports. So a decrease in the amount of exports that are being consumed will cause the demand for the currency to fall. If the demand for the currency falls, the price goes down. If the price goes down, this is a depreciation. Factors causing an appreciation. This would cause the price to go up. This would be caused by demand shifting to the right or supply shifting to the left. These are the factors here. I really, really recommend that you get familiar with understanding these shifts. You cannot progress in this unit until this is very clear. I really recommend that if it's really difficult for you, you go and read the textbook, or you look at Cognitive or at In Thinking and review it until it's clear. If you think you're pretty clear, let's practice. Here is a table about the New Zealand dollar. You have to decide if these things are going to cause the demand or the supply of the currency to change. Is it going to increase or decrease? Is it going to cause an appreciation, meaning the price goes up, or depreciation, meaning the price goes down for the New Zealand dollar? Pause the video now and then guess your answers, and then you'll change the slide. Here are those answers. If you got this correct, then you are understanding this material really well. If you got it incorrect, I recommend you go back and you review again one of the sources. That's it for today. Tomorrow we'll pick up with some more practice.